Hi, I'm Cece Garrett. I'm a clinical social worker and adult child with a parent who hoards, located in Washington State. And I work exclusively with families, individuals, and communities impacted by hoarding. As part of what I offer to the community, I have a non-clinical supports page where I have an Ask Me Anything About Hoarding button, and website visitors can submit a question. And so I recently received this question. And the question was, how do you deal with the resentment you feel towards a parent who hoards, who didn't clean throughout childhood and still isn't, even though the child is now an adult, and the parent's in complete denial about it all? It's a really great question, right? It's a very common experience for adult children to get to a point where they recognize that these were things that should have happened. And I want to be really clear here. I'm really picky about that should language. We shouldn't shit on ourselves, right? But there is a level of care of the home and of ourselves as children that many adult children of parents who hoard missed. They didn't get it. And resentment and anger towards their parent for what really seems like a very basic need and expected care, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it actually highlights some level of self-worth in the self. Um, one of the things that was really hard, and I've heard this from other people, is we didn't know that our childhood homes were really different for quite a few years. So there's this normalization. It's the only thing that we know. And then as adults, as teens, as we start to experience other home environments, this awareness that we're different causes shame. And I think in adulthood, a lot of us then are looking at some really unhealthy patterns in our lives. Maybe we're out in a college dorm and we're expected to keep our side of a room clean, and we have no grasp of how to do that because that wasn't something that was modeled or taught to us. Maybe it's in adult relationships where we've managed conflict by predicting other people's emotions and trying to avoid letting somebody get upset. And now we're in adult relationships and that's not working. We're really making people more upset as we try to tiptoe around and anticipate their needs and meet their needs before they can get upset with us. So what do we do with the resentment and the anger that comes up as part of our growing insight about our experiences and the things that we didn't get? Well, I think the step is to look at what were those needs, what were the things that were missed, and then to take steps as an adult for yourself towards establishing new routines, new behaviors, learning relationship rules. If you're not involved in counseling, perhaps reaching out to a counselor and sharing with them about your experiences. My personal experiences have been that, I became a reactive parent. It was the only thing I knew. My mom didn't have any emotional regulation skills, and so I didn't develop any emotional regulation skills. And so I had to learn that on my own. And while I was angry that my mother didn't teach me those, the best use I found for my anger and resentment of what I missed was to put it towards the hard work of developing those skills, right? Going after learning emotional maturity, learning how to set and maintain boundaries, learning how to fold a fitted sheet. I digress. Nobody has to learn how to fold a fitted sheet. It's complicated for sure. But maybe it's important to know how often to change and wash your sheets. How do you best manage dust in a high dust area? I live in a place where we have lots of wind. It's always dusty. Literally, I feel like I could dust and it's going to need to be dusted right away. But those are things that we can learn. So taking our resentment and recognizing that it's pointing out things that we needed that are important, and then going after, we can't change our parent, but we can start looking for other places to develop those skills, to heal those parts of us that are wounded by our parents' inability to provide those things, and even that frustration of their lack of insight ongoing. And that's a great place to put that energy of our resentment and anger is into becoming the people that we want to be, the people we deserve to be, and treating ourselves the way we deserve to be treated. It's a great question. I hope you found this helpful. If you just stumbled across this on Facebook or YouTube, I do offer Ask Me Anything on my non-clinical support on Pensite. The link's below. And I hope you'll consider asking me anything about hoarding. Most of the questions have been from adult children or other family members, but I'm happy to ask or answer questions from clinicians or just others who see hoarding and have questions. Again, thanks so much for your question. I hope this is helpful, and I'm looking forward to your question if you haven't submitted one yet. Thanks.